Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of December 24th, and I am excited to be here with a fresh show this week. I did have last week off for my birthday, so that was a really enjoyable moment and a good time to slow down a little bit before the holiday season, and happy holidays to everybody. And I hope that that all goes well for you. So I'm here with the astrological report, and just like we pack our clothes for the weather of the day with us, i.e. a rain jacket or an umbrella or sunscreen, if it's going to be sunny, then we also pack with us for the astrological weather. And these moments where we can just hone in are so important, just to slow down, check in with ourselves. How are things going? How are you feeling? This week has quite a bit of interesting action as far as the astrology goes. I would say this week we have the planet of Saturn as the star player, and Saturn is a slower moving planet. This is where things can tend to just to slow down a tad so that we can focus on a few more of the important details. Saturn wants to make sure to be responsible about the things that we need to slow down and take care of. And so we're going to also be seeing things from the past sort of show up. Saturn can be very representative of things from the past, or past ideals, or even like historical things or tradition. And around these holiday seasons, we can see a lot of traditions coming and going, traditions being started, and also traditions, being left behind to start those new ones or to move in different directions. And then at the end of the week, we do have our Capricorn new moon, which is ruled by the planet of Saturn. And we are going to be setting some new intentions around our responsibilities and the rule structures, because Saturn does like to follow the rules. This is an energy where we are almost like the father figure, and the father figure is going to be asking a lot of questions about our situation and making sure that things are being taken care of responsibly. And so this energy coming in strong here on Christmas Eve with a square, Saturn in a square to Jupiter. And this one is an interesting square because it involves two really important planets, Jupiter and Saturn. And when these two planets come together in a conjunction, they are actually known as a great conjunction. The great conjunction is a conjunction of the planets Jupiter and Saturn when these two planets appear closest together in the sky, and it occurs approximately every 20 years when Jupiter moves over the top of Saturn in its orbit. And so it's sort of the rarest of the conjunctions that you can see with your naked eye. So every 20 years, we get a conjunction between these two planets that today we have in a square, but we go back to that conjunction to sort of see how these pieces to the puzzle fit together. So that great conjunction was last on December 21st of 2020. And I believe I was out cross-country skiing, seeing that conjunction that night with a couple of friends who may actually be listening to the show, because that was a show of its very own. That was a big deal. The two planets appearing the closest together in the night sky. And we actually got to see that night of December 21st. the year 2020. But this is the conjunction. This is when the planets are together. And then today, December 24th, the day I'm bringing the report to you, we have the opening square, December 24th of 2024. And so we get new pieces to the puzzle, new parts to the story here. So if you can think back, what were you doing in and around December 21st of 2020? What new things were starting for you when these planets have this great conjunction? They start a new 20-year cycle. So you started something around that time that we're now seeing the opening square, which brings a bit of conflict to this situation. We actually are going to have our first bit of information come into this, this new 20-year cycle here that we started back in 2020 that is going to create conflict. A square requires us to take some action. And I did talk about Saturn and what the planet of Saturn represents, but what are we talking about with Jupiter here? Jupiter is the planet of all planets. Jupiter is the god of the gods and the king of the kings. And Jupiter is the good luck planet. Jupiter is the expansive energy as far as planetary energies go. This is if you're going to call Saturn the old, Jupiter is the new. It wants to bring in new things it's excited about, new passions, and that spark of good luck that Jupiter brings. It wants to leave a gift and gift, be a gifter here. And Saturn can have a hard time with that sometimes. Hey, what does dad say when you get him a gift? Oh, you didn't have to do that. Let me reimburse you the money for that. And Jupiter's just like, hey, I just love you. So I just want to bring you a gift. You don't have to make it a thing like that. You just take the gift. So you can kind of see where the conflict is with Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn is a constrictive type of energy, while Jupiter is expansive. And so one wants to pull in and one wants to push out. So when we get the square here between these planets, we are going to have that type of conflict come up. The old versus the new, the contraction versus the expansion, the traditional methods and ways of doing things versus the new upgraded ways that we could become excited about in the future. So, you do a little bit of research in your birth chart, you can see where this original conjunction was. It was actually at 0 degrees of Aquarius, which is an interesting point because we have Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius right now. So Pluto's the planet of transformation, zinging and buzzing and just vibrating up that 0 degree point of Aquarius, really helping us feel this interplay between Saturn and Jupiter, the great conjunctors. And while we are on the Saturn talk here, we're just going to jump in to listening to this NASA audio frequency of the planet of Saturn, because there are gifts available here. Saturn wants to always do what's best anyways. It just can take a little time. It can have some restrictive boundaries to it. You can be kind of required to provide more details than you want to the powers that be, and feel kind of, watched and looked at under a scope a bit. And so let's break this down. Let's take it back into what everything ultimately is, which is vibration and frequency, and eke out our little meditative message here from Saturn. whatever you were able to pick up with your intuition is most important. When you listen to those, you can hear different things every time. And I don't think I've played the Saturn one in a long time. And that to me was the screaming winds of Aquarius. It was just screaming 0 degrees Aquarius, which, I mean, Aquarius is going to be an expansive energy on its own, wants to make, it wants to awaken. And to let things change and transform. There is like the winds of change with Aquarius being an air sign, but also being ruled by the planet of Uranus. There is a desire to awaken and a desire to come into your own individuality. You know, what is it that makes you, yourself, totally unique from everybody around you? That's what Aquarius wants to do. So, this square between Saturn, Jupiter is, we've been feeling it for a couple of weeks, already moving into it. We'll be feeling it as we move out of it also. And just take your time with that, because it's a part and parcel of that larger cycle that we were talking about. So going back to this week, so come December 26th, well, I guess since it's such a special holiday, I should just mention what's going on Christmas to December 25th. So we have the moon actually entering into Scorpio super early in the morning. And Scorpio is a beautiful, deep, darker kind of energy. This is really, really intimate and beautiful for being in an intimate sort of setting. Scorpio is a very emotional sign. So the moon being in Scorpio is going to bring us into a nice, watery, emotional state for waking up on Christmas morning. And then we do have the sun in Capricorn now. So it's Capricorn season. Welcome in and happy birthday to all of the December born Capricorns out there. And the Capricorn sun is going to make an in conjunction with Mars, who's in retrograde on Christmas. And this is sort of an energy of not really knowing where the corners of the cabinets are, or, little burns on your wrists from pulling things out of the oven. This is like a bumps and bruises kind of energy when there's an in conjunction. It's like your vision doesn't see things. And Mars is a physical planet. Mars can be a little violent, a little forceful, a little, those bumps and bruises just could kind of be the case this week and on Christmas Day. So just be careful, wear your oven mitts and, watch your step. Don't go tripping over the dog or anything because you're in a hurry. And then on December 26th, we have the planet of Mercury, who's recently out of retrograde. So Mercury was really slowed down and now is starting to pick up a little more steam. You probably already knew that because you can feel it. You're getting around, your errands aren't, taking as long, and your mind is moving a little quicker, not forgetting as many things. The technology is working a little more dependently. And so Mercury, the mind, beginning to come out of the fog of retrograde, but we're still in the shadow. So we're still kind of cleaning up the last third phase of Mercury retrograde. And we are in a full opposition with that Jupiter that I discussed. Jupiter is in the square with Saturn, but is also going to be opposition straight across the zodiac for Mercury on the 26th. So we could be kind of feeling or even receiving information or thinking a lot about this, whatever's going on with this Saturn Jupiter square with us. You kind of have to look at that a little bit, and then you see this Mercury come through and deliver us the day after Christmas, December 26th, some more information regarding that. It's going to be an opportunity to have an expansive thought, maybe in a new way, or finally make up your mind to like release some old thought or some old pattern, that you had been in. And then it's going to be in that square with Saturn, which, could really give us the opportunity to set some clear boundaries around our communication or around the way that we're thinking. Saturn wants us to kind of take responsibility for our thoughts a little bit on December 26th. And then another square on December 27th. It's kind of like a bumps and bruises kind of week, because we do have some tougher energy, but these are all opportunities to step up and just work with it and accept the circumstances and roll with it. And Venus on the 27th, the planet of our heart and of our love and of money also, is in a square with Uranus. And Uranus is that awakener who wants to kind of like have a lightning bolt reaction where something happens really, really quick. And Venus, that's our relationships also. So Uranus is a surprising type of energy. We could see some surprises in terms of our relationships on December 27th, could see something kind of out of the blue happen and transform and change a relationship really quickly. Or this is also potential of some type of surprise money coming in, or an opportunity to take action to make some money, or to get some surprise money, with Venus being money and money flow. So that's an interesting one. Watch out for that, because a square does require us to take action. So these are moments where we step into it and we decide how we're going to go ahead and roll with that. And then on December 29th, we have the asteroid Chiron, the wounded healer, coming direct out of the many-month retrograde. And Chiron is stationing direct at 19 degrees of Aries. You folks that are Aries or have a lot of Aries energy, you've been dealing with Chiron for many years. And the Aries area of your chart, your astrological birth chart, you can look and see which house Aries covers, and you can see where the wounded healer is working in the astrology right now. 19 degrees of Aries, and going to be sitting still for a little bit of time. When a planet stations, it's just a stillness. They're not moving forward, they're not moving back. There's a moment to catch your breath and to realize how much healing you've done up till now, and consider yourself amazing for making it as far as you have with the incredible attitude that you have. Because I know, just because you listen to this show, I know that you are trying and you are putting effort into your life. That is beautiful. And Chiron is helping all of us to heal. That Jupiter is in a long-term, a many-month sextile with Chiron. So every healing opportunity, every expansive moment with Chiron is just being expanded even further and doubled as Jupiter is in Gemini and in that sextile. So go with the healing. It is a good time to let things go. I mean, we're coming up to the end of 2024, and while it's not the end of the astrological new year, which happens in March, but this is the end of the calendar year, which is really important for people to remember where they've come from and things that they've been successful on, or goals that you've completed, or even if it's not a completed goal or something has come to fruition, there has been little steps along the way. Even steps backwards can be healing and can be informative and can be really beautiful. So stick with that Chiron this week and keep your healing in mind, because the new moon is on December 30th. That's the new moon in Capricorn. And consider this the day that the egg shell is cracked. And there is a feeling of there is going to be an out. There's been a big transformative process that has come through with Pluto completing in the sign of Capricorn just in the last couple of months and moving into Aquarius. This is the first Capricorn new moon that has happened with Pluto being completely gone and out of Capricorn. You Capricorn folks have been through a lot the past 18 years with Pluto there. This is a fresh start for Capricorn energy. The eggshell is cracked. We're not coming out of the egg yet, but it's cracked and we can smell the fresh air. And we can see the light through the cracks, and we can feel that we are transformed enough through this process to start to push through the rest of the egg and emerge, but it's going to take a lot of patience. So I really appreciate you being here in the cosmic community, and I hope that this program was helpful for you today, and I also hope that you have a wonderful holiday season, and I will be chatting with you again very soon. Take care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.